Okay, students, so we are going to continue with our first app. So previously what we have actually done is we have included one button right under the text to speech. So whenever we click on the button, you'll be able to hear the app.
Did you manage to do your first app?
So this is the example. So you're able to hear what the app is actually speaking. But we discussed that what the issue is, it is not customizable, right? It speaks the same thing. Each time you press,
Did you manage to do your first app?
it's actually doing the same thing. So if we look at the block, whenever you click the button, there's the same thing that it actually will appear. So we discussed that on how we can actually overcome this is by including user input. User input. So how can we actually include a user input? Can you all see, or you want me to off the front light? Which one? Off or what? Off. If at all you can't see, just let me know so that I can enlarge it. So what we're going to do now is, if you see under the component, under the user interface, there is this text input. Let's enlarge this a little bit. You can see that there is this text input. So if you look at the question mark, it actually explains to you what this text input allows us to do. So it allows the user to input. So we're going to drag and drop this to our screen. We're going to have the user text input now. So currently you can see the user text input is on top of the button. So that is fine. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that we change the text input. So we can change it to text to speech input. So at least you know text to speech input. Okay, so currently we are in the property of text to speech. Then if you notice that there is a hint, currently it's mentioned type here. So we can change type what you want to speak. So I'm just putting the hint, type what you want me to speak. So at the same time, you can also open your Thunkable Live so you can actually see how it actually looks like on your Thunkable Live. So hold on. So if you look at the preview, it looks something like this, right? Type what you want me to speak. But at the same time, do you see the arrangement? It is just like too close to the button. Doesn't look so nice. So what we can actually do, so under the property, if you scroll down a little bit, so if you see there is this height and width. Height and width is the height and width of this component. So currently, height, you can actually pick one, fit contents or fill container or relative size or absolute size. Currently, it's this. You're choosing fit content. So fit contents means what? Whatever the words that you type inside, it try to fit the content. Fill container means this screen is your container. You see the height, it fills the entire container. So if you put fill content means it just fill up to the content, whatever that you type. Likewise with the width. So currently the width is relative size 80%. So you can change this, 90%. So you can see what is the changes that happens to your screen. It will become larger, right? Become larger. So relative size means relative to the container. So currently you're looking at the width. So 80% of the container, you are able to set the relative size. So you can play around with absolute size, relative size and field container, fit container. Okay, I'll keep with 80%. I like 80%. But still now, if you look at the preview, it is still too close. It doesn't look so nice, right? So what we should do, if you scroll down further, there is these two options. So what we just now saw is the height and also width. The same thing applies for all the components. Now we're going to look at margin and also padding. So what is margin and what is padding? Margin is the space that you keep outside of the component. Do you see this dotted line? Do you see this red dotted line? Able to see? So let's say if I want to create a space bottom, so here I can put space. If I put 10, do you see it creates a space? Margin is the spacing outside of the component. How much space that you want to actually keep. So let's say if you put 20, it'll have more spacing. Is that okay? So if you preview, do you see that? Okay, that's nice space here. What is padding? Padding is inside this component. Do you see that there is type what you want me to speak? So if you notice that maybe, let me see if I can see. Maybe you find that this is the gray color box is the user text input, right? You might notice that the letters are too close to the bottom line, right? So you can include padding. So padding is inside. So let's say if you want to include padding, just observe. Sorry, now it's I need to go to edit mode. So when you add the padding, so if earlier if I remove 0, if I add padding, you see padding is inside. That's what you add the padding. So let's say maybe give 10, maybe top 5. So how does it look in preview? So do you see there's a padding on top, there's a padding bottom. Are you able to see the difference? So maybe this one looks nice, padding. So you can do padding left, right as well. So do you understand what is margin and what is padding? Padding is the space outside of the component. Margin is the space outside the component. Padding is inside. How you put the padding. All right. All okay so far? Everyone did up to this point? Good. So let's go back to edit. Okay. Then you see, if you scroll up, there is this one option known as the keyboard type. You'll see this keyboard type. This one, keyboard type. So this keyboard type, if you click, you see there are default, email address, numeric, and phone pad. So whenever you're developing app, in this case, if you put as default, and when you want to type, when you just click here to type, on your phone screen, it will appear your normal keyboard, your normal default keyboard. I think it's not showing here, but if you see in your Thunkable, if you see in Thunkable Live, it'll come out the normal keypad. Sorry, I couldn't show because I couldn't do the remote access to this thing. So this is the normal keyboard type. Now, if you change the keyboard type to email address, so observe, on your, this is a normal default. If you change it to email address, you'll see your keypad will have alias and .com option. So if you change, the email address, check in your Thunkable Live. So this is what happens. You can see that there's an alias option and also .com. So when you're developing app, for example, if there is some user text input where you want the user to type their email address, for example, then you may want to set the keyboard type to email address. So that is easy. The alias and .com is there. Otherwise, what you have to do with the normal keypad, you have to shift the keypad to the special characters, right, for you to click alias. So this is the key email address. Then you also have numeric. Sometimes in the app you want, let's say for example, if you're doing calculator or something. So when you click, you want it to come something like this, only numbers, right? Numeric. So you can actually add the numbers. And maybe in some cases you want the user to type in their phone number. So you use the phone pad. So when you type the phone pad, you will see there is a star, hash, option all will be coming in your keypad. Is that okay? So for this, we can actually keep default because we are just going to type what we want to speak. Any question up to this point? All okay? Okay. Okay, so we have included the user text input. Now we have set the default keyboard type. Now let us add the functionality to it. So let's go to blocks. Let's go to block. So we are going to remove this. Sorry, not this one. Okay, it's coming together. It's okay, leave it. So if you scroll down, there is text to speech input. Do you see this? This is what we name it, right? So click on this and we scroll down. Do you see that text to speech inputs text? Take this one and put it here. So now, whenever you click the text to speech button, it will now call the text to speech to speak whatever that you have written in the text to speech text. So if we go here, go to preview. Now I want to type.
Hello, how are you?
It's customizable now. Yeah? You don't have text to speech. Okay, so now we have actually added that. So let's try to do something which can make the app looks a bit beautiful. So let's look for some background. Let's see some animated background, for example. So you can search for any animated GIFs, GIFs, or anything. Okay, any wallpaper, that should be fine. So let's say, choose this. It looks so nice. Okay, let's say for example, oh, this is too small. But this one, okay, this one's a bit okay. Anyway, so I'm just going to copy the image address. So if you're choosing the GIF animated wallpaper is also fine. So I'm just going to copy the URL. So I'm going to go back here. So I'm going to click on the text to speech. Make sure you click on the text to speech screen. text to speech screen. And currently under the background picture, there is no picture, so I'm just going to paste the URL. So after you have pasted it, let me see how it actually looks on my phone. So when I preview, it looks like this. So you can see that it's a moving image. So if you can get a high definition one, it will be really good. What is this? Sometimes some of it are too small. Did you all manage to do it? Some wallpapers look nice. So either if it's an image, static image or anything, it's fine. I'm going to change. So now we managed to include some graphics in the background and things like that. So now in this case, when I actually put the background, I couldn't see the hint. It's a bit difficult for me to see the hint. So what we can actually do is, you can actually go back to the text input, text speech input. Is it under advanced? Okay. So under the text speech input, under the advanced property, if you actually scroll down, there is this hint text color. So this one maybe I can change to white. So let's preview. So now it's visible for me, right? I can change the hint color text input also. Okay. Now let's try to do something. Is everyone okay? Yes. Okay, so we're going to do another. There's so many things that you can actually explore and try to make your app beautify. So this is Thunkable app, so you always have access wherever you are. You don't have to be in this lab, right? You can access it on your own laptop, and you can try explore various things. Try to learn on your own, and that's what you're going to do for your group project as well. Not everything I can actually cover. It's impossible. So you have to learn on your own to try to find out the resources on how to do that. So we'll do one more thing, which is your phone has a lot of sensors, right? So one of the sensor is accelerometer. So we will try to now make your app speak whenever the sensor is triggered. So if you search under the component, if you scroll down, under the sensors category, you will see there is this accelerometer. All your phones have accelerometer sensor. So if you click on the question mark, so it is used to measure the force of acceleration acting on the phone. So drag and drop this. So this is also comes under invisible component. So you don't see it, but you see at the bottom here, accelerometer, and you can see under the invisible component. So if you click on invisible component, the properties, it should be enabled. So sensitivity, you can maybe put it as medium. how sensitive you want it to be triggered. Okay, everyone done? Now let us go to block. So now you can see there is accelerometer here. So what we're going to try to do, click on accelerometer. So we can use the second block when accelerometer is being shaked, or when your phone is being shaked, then do something. Drag this and put it here. Have everyone managed to do that? Has everyone managed to do that? So you can answer yes or no. So don't keep quiet. Say yes or no. So this block we are going to copy. So right click and click duplicate. Take and put it here. But let us remove this text to input speech. Then here we can put stop shaking me. So now we have two working functions. One is whatever that you type on your user text input. So let's see if I type hello. So I typed hello. This is a thing. Then if I try to actually shake my phone, then this one should be able to. Is it not shaking? So let's see if I make it a bit more sensitive. Hi.
Stop shaking.
Yeah.
Stop shaking me. Stop shaking me.
So now it has two functions. One is in your phone. If
Stop shaking me.
shake,
Stop shaking me. Stop shaking me.
now it become
Stop shaking me.
become too sensitive already. Let's put medium.
Stop shaking.
Yeah, so it's
Stop shaking me.
medium is okay. So this is on the phone.
Stop shaking me.
Okay, managed to get it. So let us look at the first component, which is label. So label component allows you to display text in your app. So it's a label. So we can drag and drop this label. So now we are in the speech to text screen. So we're gonna change this. We're gonna change this is as converted speech text. Converted speech text. So the text is we're going to change the text part. Your speech will be displayed here. You click done. So when we actually preview, it looks something like this. So it doesn't look so nice. So let's try to beautify it a little bit. So maybe we can include the text color, we can remain as black. Maybe the background color can make a little bit mild gray or something. Then what we can do is, maybe I would like to change the width. So maybe this one I select as relative, maybe 80%. So when you preview, it looks something like this. Again, if you see this, there is no padding at the side, right? So it'll be nice to include some padding. So maybe top, let's put padding 10, bottom put padding 10, left put padding 10, right put padding 10. So how it looks like? Okay, at least the text looks centered, right? Okay, everyone managed to do? Is everyone okay? Yes. Explore with the various functions, the more you get familiarized with it. Now let us try to include a button. So there's a button option component, drag and drop. Now you see the button comes above on top of the label, but I want it to be below. So what we can do, go to this component tree here, right? Click on this button, drag it down. So automatically the order that it shows in the component tree determines the order here on the screen as well. Is that okay? Now again you see that this is sticking to one another. It's not nice. So we can actually include some. First and foremost, let's change this button name to listen button btn. So for the but either you put the margin bottom for the label or you put the margin for the button. So I'm going to just put the margin for the button. Maybe I make it as 15. Not still I want more. So I put 20. Okay, so if you preview, should be able to get this margin between these two components in between. Managed to get it? All okay? So I'm going to remove the text, delete the text. And now what we're going to do is we are going to search for icon. Let's say listen icon. Oh, sorry, not listen icon, speak icon, I think. Okay, so there's this speak icon. Let's see this one. So I'm going to right click and copy image address. Make sure you copy image address. And go back to Thunkable. Under the button property, there is background picture. So I'm going to paste the background picture here. After I have pasted the background picture, I'm going to remove the background color. Remove the background color. And make transparent. So you'll notice that the button is not really displaying The icon, if you see it, here is showing round, but on my phone is showing like cropped. So what we can actually do here is you can play around with the height. You can choose the relative size. And let's say what happens. 2% of the height. 10%. Let's say relative size. Not 10. 20%. So you can see now it's increasing by size. This one still height. You're now able to get. So this one also still need to. So you need to see it on your phone. So you see whether are you able to see it fully or not. Wait. Resize mode. Contain. Sorry, one thing I forgot to mention. The background picture resize mode, you should select contain. Just now it was cover, so each time you try to expand the size, it keeps on covering. So we want it to contain. Now let's see if it's make it smaller. Okay, so you just can play around to make the icons a bit bigger. So this is just nice, 2025. I can see the icon. Not like this. On my phone, I'm able to see round and clear. It's not cropped like this on my phone in Thunkable Live. So you can use the Thunkable Live to actually see how do you actually get this. Is that okay? Everyone okay? Yes. So we're going to add one more component. If you scroll down to the components, so scroll down under the voice palette. Under the voice palette, there is one thing. Earlier we used the text to speech. Now we have this speech recognizer. So if you click, this speech recognizer component can translate a full phrase or in real time as a person is speaking. The speech recognizer stops listening after it stops detecting any sound. So this is what we're going to use. Drag and drop to the screen. So you can see there is this speech recognizer. It's an invisible component, so you are unable to actually see. Have you all added the speech recognizer? So we have the label, we have the button, we have the speech recognizer. So let us go to blocks now. Under the block is the first thing that you want to actually add the functionality is to the listen button, right? When you click on the listen button, you want it to actually listen. So scroll down, where is the listen button? There, here's the listen button. So click on listen button. Is everyone here? Listen button. Drag and drop it to the screen. When listen button is clicked. Has everyone done this? Now you click on the speech recognizer. When you click on the speech recognizer, there is this two gray block. There is speech recognizer 1 listen, speech recognizer 1 listen with partial result. So what's the difference between these two? So the speech recognizer listen, it actually returns a text value after a full phrase has been spoken. The speech recognizer stops listening after it stops detecting any sound. So this one you have to wait until it finishes speaking. This one listen with partial result. this is returns the partial results in real time as a phrase is being spoken. So you can try with either one of these. So let's try with the first one. Drag and put it here. So later you can actually change, listen with the partial results also, and try to experiment. So when the listen button is clicked, it will call the speech recognizer to listen with outputs. It has two outputs. One is actually error, another one is the value. So this is where the results is obtained. Then do what you want it to do. Remember the label that we have actually included, which is converted speech text. Converted speech text, right? That's the label. So we want to set the converted speech text to something. So we want to use this one, set. So put it here. So what this will do is when you listen button is clicked, it will call the speech recognizer to listen and it'll give the value. So take this value, plug out from here. Plug out the value. Are you all watching the screen or not? The value and put it here. So what this will do, it will call the speech recognizers listen. After it listen finish, what it will do, it will set whatever the converted speech text into the converted value. So I'm not so sure if do here can get the preview or not. I'm not so sure. Here's undefined, can't do it here. So let's go on our Thunkable Live. So the moment you actually click the button, so let me see, why is it? So the moment you click the button, so whatever I said, it actually translated here. So you click the button and then you start speaking. So you click. So after you click, then you start speaking. So just click the button once and start speaking. So this one is different from the partial result because this will only give as long as you're talking continuously, and when I pause, then only it gives the result. So if you want to try with partial results, so now trying with the partial results and see, wait now. So let me just try with the partial results. So it doesn't, the partial results is able to give as you're speaking, it actually is translating and writing whatever I'm saying. This is partial result. Give it some time. So you just have to press the button once and then you need to continue speaking for partial results. As I'm speaking, the text is being written. So compared to the full listen, the previous one, only when you stop speaking, then only you'll be able to see the text. But this one, you see, as I'm speaking, it's keep on writing the text until I give a pause. Then it stops listening. So whatever I say after that, then it doesn't write anymore. It's quite good also. It gives, as long as your pronunciation is clear, it gives very nicely. So then later point of time, you can actually explore to put the background image and things like that. So you can choose any background image, then you can just put it in. This is on the screen. So you can actually put whatever image and things like that. So you can beautify it as how you want it to be. So with this, we are done with our first app. So I'll just stop the recording.